Delta's story begins not with passengers, but with insects. In 1924, Huff Dale Dusters was founded in Macon, Georgia, flying aircraft to dust cotton fields, protecting the crop from boll weevils. A few years later, local entrepreneur C. Woolman bought the business and renamed it Delta Air Service in honor of the Mississippi Delta. The first passenger flights were operated on planes with wicker seats and opening windows. And when the Great Depression hit, Delta survived thanks to an old skill. While competitors went bankrupt, it continued to spray the fields, using its aviation as a safety net. For many years, Delta remained a regional player in the southern United States, but it gradually gained muscle. In 1953, it merged with Chicago and Southern Airlines, gaining routes to the Caribbean, and in 1972, it acquired Northeast Airlines, strengthening its presence in the Northeast. Its real breakthrough came in 1991, when Delta acquired the transatlantic routes of the collapsed Pan American, the famous shuttle and key European destinations. The deal transformed the modest Southern airline into a global carrier capable of competing with industry veterans. But the rise was followed by a brutal decline. The terrorist attacks of September 11, 2001, slammed demand for travel, fuel prices soared, and low-cost carriers like JetBlue began to eat into domestic routes. Burdened with debt and oppressive union contracts, Delta found itself on the brink. In 2005, the company filed for bankruptcy, the darkest moment in its history. However, management used Chapter 11 not as an end, but as a strict diet. They wrote off billions in debt, renegotiated labor agreements, and eliminated unprofitable routes. In 2007, Delta emerged from bankruptcy renewed, lean, and hungry for success. The decisive move was the merger with Northwest Airlines in 2008. Delta was strong in the eastern U.S., Europe, and Latin America. Northwest, in turn, dominated the Midwest, Detroit, Minneapolis, and, crucially, Asia through its hub in Tokyo. The combination created the world's largest airline with a global route network without blind spots. Critics skeptically dismissed it as a merger of two former bankrupt companies, but in reality, it gave Delta the massive platform on which it began to build its financial dominance. But the key to Delta's current wealth lies beyond scale. After the merger, the company, under the leadership of Richard Anderson and then Ed Bastian, adopted three game-changing strategies. First, abandoning the race for cheap tickets. Delta focused on premium travel and business travelers. It launched Delta One lounges with designer interiors, became the first major U.S. airline to offer free high-speed Wi-Fi on all domestic routes, and partnered with well-known brands like Shake Shack and Spanx to make flying part of the premium experience. Second, a financial goldmine, its partnership with American Express. Delta has transformed its SkyMiles loyalty program into a powerful financial instrument. Co-branded credit cards generate billions of dollars for the company, largely independent of how many tickets are sold in a given quarter. By the mid-2020s, this revenue had become Delta's largest source of profit, making its business far more resilient than its competitors. Third, an unconventional move with oil refining. When jet fuel prices began to fluctuate, Delta did something no other airline had done before. In 2012, it acquired an oil refinery in Pennsylvania. This allowed the company to reduce its exposure to market volatility and control its key costs, turning vulnerability into a strategic advantage. Today, Delta is more than just the airline with the highest market capitalization in the U.S. It's a symbol of how one can go from a crop duster to a financial giant that makes money not only from tickets but also from smart strategy, customer loyalty, and the ability to turn crises into springboards. In an industry where bankruptcies are practically a tradition, Delta has managed to become a blue chip, reliable, profitable, and a standard setter.